Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Replenish Me Show, where women find strategies to take care of themselves through nourishing with wholesome food, energizing with movement, and reframing their perspective. Today, I am honored to have the lovely, Jennifer Beaumont-White. She's the founder of the soon-to-be launched Live Authentic Academy. And she's also a speaker, an author, blogger, an emotional freedom master practitioner, and intuitive life and business coach. She's done a wide array of things over her life, and she's going to share her story with us. But her mission is to help people to move from fear to love, become the best version of themselves, and leave the world better than they found it. Welcome
Absolutely.
to the show.
Thank you so much, Cordelia. It's an absolute honor for me to be, part of your show and, helping people move forward and have amazing, happy lives. Yeah.
I love it. I love your energy and what you're all about. Tell me, how did you, what happened in your life that made you decide to do this work?
I think the actual work found me because I'm not going to start at the beginning where I was born in Jamaica and I came over from Jamaica, to be with my mom who'd left me here, behind with my grandmother. And there's a whole sort of series of tragedies that happened up to, that I'm going to be maybe touching on as we go through. But the main reason I started doing the work that I do was I was actually already doing it. Because my eldest son has asthma and eczema. And when he was quite young, I didn't want him to be on any of the medical, pharmaceutical things. So I thought, I'm going to look in the library, I'm going to look in the bookshops and find alternative ways of curing and helping my son. So as I'm reading all the books, on the alternative health, I came across self-help, and then I came across life coaching. And back in like 20, 25, 30 years ago, life coaching was actually just emerging in the US and starting to come into the UK. And I started reading about it, and I thought, that's exactly how I work with my clients, my students, my customers, in any industry I'm working in, or if I'm teaching, that's exactly how I operate, because coaching is all about asking questions, like it's an inquiry. And so if anybody, like a student would come to me and ask me, how do you do this and how would you do that, or a member of staff, I say, okay, so how do you think you should do it? Or how do you think you would do it? Explain to me how you would do it. And they tell me how, and then I give them a few pointers and say, okay, well, you go off and do it, and then come back and, give me some feedback, and we'll take the next step. And as I've read through, learning about coaching, life coaching, it's exactly the same format. You have an inquiry with your client. Where do they want to go? What do they want to achieve? And then I ask them various powerful questions that I'm now trained to do. Ask them these powerful questions which go deeper than just surface, and then get the answer from within themselves. So, that's how I came across coaching in the first place. And that was like in the early 90s, but I didn't actually take my diploma until I got divorced in 2004. And then in 2005, I took my diploma then and set up my business. So that's the life coaching side. And then the EFT, emotional freedom technique side, I heard about it from about 10 years ago, but it was only 5 years ago that I actually took a master practitioner diploma in it. And I'm using both modalities to help my clients move from that fear that can trap people from taking the next steps that they need to go and do what they need to do to go towards their dreams. So that's how I came to be doing what I'm doing, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, it is a really great work, when you see people make that transformation, and when you really help them to tap into their inner knowing, right?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what the emotional freedom piece is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting to that core. It's all well and good. Okay, so as a coach, I would say, okay, well, do you want to do this, or how do you want to do this, and what steps are you going to take? And then they come back at the next session and they haven't actually done what they said they were going to do, so they're out of integrity and are feeling a bit bad. So we explore what's really going on. Is there some inner block that's going on for you that you're not even consciously aware of? So we do some tapping technique to clear whatever's coming up for them, clear and take the energetic charge away from those emotions, those negative emotions that keep coming up. And then they find calm and peace within themselves, and they feel more relaxed. And then we find that they can actually take those steps towards their goals anyway. So yeah, it's pretty powerful stuff.
And that's interesting that you're saying that you're teaching them to tap into the different centers, because a lot of people are not aware that we have different emotional energy centers or different energy centers in our body.
Yeah.
So, and what do you find are the most common centers that are blocked for people?
Well, the way that emotional freedom technique works is with tapping on the meridian points, yeah? And I use a specific color technique that I use with my clients to find the causal reason of the, where it would have come from. So if they say that the color, if it had a color, the emotion that comes up, if it had a color, and they say it's red, it could be that something is triggered it that's based on anger, or maybe survival, or something to do maybe with similar to the root chakra. If they're saying it's feeling like it's yellow, it would be yellow. We associate that with childhood, something that happened in childhood that would cause them to be like blocked, and they're really not sure. So I help them to work through it and talk through it and bring it to the surface so we can examine it and dissipate it. And one of the most common is, I think it would be, I think the fear of not being good enough always comes up. Like, I'm not good enough to go and do this particular thing. I'm not sure why, but I feel like I'm scared. Another one would be a fear of going into the unknown. They're not quite sure, what's going to happen, so they hold back. I'm not sure how this is going to pan out, so I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to work on that. And there's various other common ones. There's relationships with parents, that either the mother or the father, that comes up. Incidents, maybe traumas. They've had an accident. They've had maybe they've been physically abused. Things like that would come up quite common as well. So yeah, but there's but I always work with whatever the client is showing, whatever they're saying and how they're saying it, and I really get deeper into exactly what it is, because sometimes people mask and pretend and say certain things. Oh, it's only this, da 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 da, right? But when you start digging, it's not that at all. It's something completely different, that they're put in a cupboard and lock the door, and they do not want to go there. And once you open that door and they go there, release it, let it out. Let's get it sorted. Let's really look at this, and then start to bring it together, and get your confidence and empowerment around it, and then you can actually let them shift it themselves, and it's much more empowering than me telling them some techniques, or do this step or that step. When we work through what they're saying about the actual incident, and I break it down and just dissolve it using their words and their thoughts, then it's much more empowering for them.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we sometimes people, they never have the opportunity to hear themselves. So we in this work give them the opportunity to be a little bit of a sounding board,
Yes.
And that's beautiful. So how does that translate to helping them in their business? Like, you have this Business SoulShift. It's like the words together in a sentence sound kind of like, huh?
Yeah, juxtaposition is not quite right, because business is also supposed to be about strategy and planning and the bottom line and all of that. What I found as a businesswoman myself, and business owner and business coach, is that yes, it's all well and good doing the strategy and the planning and taking the steps, but there's always somewhere along the line where we have to go back to the basics, back to the foundation, the fundamental you, because you are not your business. You are not the CEO you may be the CEO, but you're not the business. Yeah. And that's that I find that's a misconception with people. It's, oh, I'm my business. If I don't go to work, then nothing happens. But being the business is only part of who you are. So when we get back to the fundamentals of who you are, what you're really, are you really committed in this area? Are you going for your heart's desires? Is your mindset aligned with what you're trying to achieve? Are you doing this for someone else, or are you doing it to get approval? You're doing it for the money? What is it you're really doing it for? And then are your values aligned with your business as well? So that's the foundation work that I do with my clients, to really get back to that basics of who you are, why you're here, what you stand for, what you stand against, and what is it you're here to achieve for humanity? What's your dharma, your purpose in life? Once we go right back to that, and then start linking all of those things with the strategy and the planning, and then take the empowered steps and actions, then we find there's much more of a solid business going on there every single time. Even some of the the good and the greats, the Alan Sugars and the I don't know, you name some top business people. Yeah, they always come back to looking at the facts and then making a decision based on their gut feelings. They always come to the inner point and say, hey, you know what? Is this me? Is this really me? Is this really what I really want? Where I'm going? If it's yes or no. And there's always this feeling when you're going in the wrong direction that that it's not going to bode well. And it's time to take a different step, a different track. So that's the kind of work I do with the clients in terms of business. Let's get back to who you are, why you're here, and what's really going on for you, your heart's desires. And then we'll do the planning. So yeah, and I find it so beneficial for people. Yeah.
So you let them see that their set of values is, if it's in alignment or not in alignment to what the mission of their business is, right?
Yeah. Well, we start with the values first.
Right.
Then we create the mission from the values. So we do the first four foundation. Get that out of you, and then we can start to create the mission. Because the mission, if you just come up with a mission, I want to save the world. Yeah. Right. When you really get down to it, you like, oh, actually, I don't want to save the world that way. I want to save the world by creating music, or I want to create a new piece of software, or I want to stand on stage.
Right.
This mission over here, if it's not aligned, then there's going down that route is not going to. So we start with where what's your core, then we create the mission and the vision and get all of that out, and then we can start taking the planning steps. We do some decluttering as well in module 6. We do some decluttering. We do decluttering around your naysayers, the people who are in your life who are pulling you down and holding you back. And they could be your parents, it could be your best friends, it could be your your brothers and sisters. And obviously you can't not have them in your life, but there's ways and ways of allowing them to step back a bit while you get on with your project and build your business, and then you can see them in a different way and be around people that are going to be holding you up, supporting you, encouraging you, because your environment is really, really important. The people that you hang around with are who you become. Yeah. So you need to be around people that are going to be who you want to become and step into their space. Yeah. Declutter your space. I mean, if you're not organized and tidy, you're going to not perform at your best. And there's certain things that could be energetically holding you back that's in your space, like old photographs of old ex-partners, or papers that you don't want to have in your vicinity, like it could be old bank statements of when you were really in debt. You do not want those things, because everything has an energy, so you want to clear those things out of your way. And then you declutter your own energy, like with EFT, NLP, eating good foods, getting enough rest. You want to make sure your energy yourself is clean and clear as well. So that's decluttering. And then we look at habits, forming good habits as well, which is module 7, is those baby steps, those incremental steps that you do every single day towards consistently building your client base, building your team, building your practice, whatever it is you're trying to do with your business. Let's look at the habits that you want, some good habits that are going to take you forward. And then it's all about connection. In module 8 is connection, connecting on social media, connecting with your tribe, connecting with your message, and putting out your message to the people, your ideal clients, the people who are waiting for your message, waiting to see you shine. So that's module 8, connecting and networking physically, where you go to networking events, maybe putting on your own events, connecting like you and I did on on Facebook, which is, that's a God's blessing, and so tough to be working with you, because we've got something amazing coming up that I can't, wait to get off the ground. And it's like a nice, beautiful synergy. And if we hadn't put ourselves out to try and connect, we would never have met, And then the last module, which is really, really a key to locking the whole thing together, is give. Is give, contribution, give thanks, and give forgiveness. And that's all about coming from the heart space of, forgiving your past wrongs, other people's past wrongs, and having a clear slate. Giving contribution, most of the I think it's actually a good tax break to actually give contribution anyway.
So there's a business connection there.
Yeah, the business connection. You have to give contribution to get your tax break. But apart from that, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel good to be giving back, and knowing that you've got all this wonderful stuff coming towards you. And so let's give back to our community, to the countries, to charities, whatever, in any capacity that we can. And giving thanks and gratitude is the prayer to God and the universe and Allah. It's like saying, thank you so much, I want some more of this. It's just, and the universe will just give us some more. So these 9 modules are based on 9 principles. So it's not, when I'm working with people, it's not about making people fit into, okay, you're going to do your stuff this way because I've done it this way. It is questions. I do the questioning around the principle of commitment, desire, value, planning, decluttering, habits, all of those principles. There's an inquiry, and out of that inquiry, you start to build a business that makes you move from being stuck to being irresistible, and just being your best self and being you. So that's what my programs are all about.
That is quite comprehensive. And the pieces that I like are they build on each other, because and the main part of setting the boundaries, right? That's very unique. I don't know that anyone's really talking about. I mean, I do that in my work, right? Setting boundaries, but like business people, business coaches don't usually bring that up. So that is a very important thing, and it crowds your mindset. It really does. That decluttering is very serious, because you can have all the strategies in place and be all organized and have a beautiful feng shui office. But if you are dealing with like negative energy from your inner circle, it's all over.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been there so many times through my work career, because I've been in business for over 3 decades. And I've had physical businesses, I've had online businesses, I've been in hair and beauty, children's retail, property, and it's always the same. You have to be around the people that are going to hold you up. The environment is so key. So yeah.
And the other thing that business people don't talk about, I mean, like more these days, they're starting to talk about the gratitude and the meditation and all that, but the forgiveness piece.
Yes. Right? Yes.
That's so misunderstood. And people don't even know how to do it properly, because, and I want to highlight that you said, forgive yourself, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That is like the heart of negative talk right there. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because if you're not forgiving yourself, because the thing that with the forgiving of yourself is, some people, there's two trains of thought. Some people think they haven't done anything wrong and it's all been done to them. So it's like, okay, surrender. It's like, okay, yes, maybe I have made some mistakes and I'm not acknowledging, but maybe I just need to think of those mistakes as lessons, and I forgive myself for not thinking of them as lessons. and now I draw a line and I move forward in a different zone. Yeah. And the other side is blaming myself for everything. It's like, it's all my fault, it's all me, I should have done this, I should have. And really, actually, we're co-creating as we go along. It's not just us that make the mistakes, and sometimes circumstance happens to us while we have to take a certain route, and we end up blaming ourselves for example, when I in the 2008 economic crash, I nearly lost everything. I lost my house, my car, my then boyfriend. It was like everything had crashed around me, and it was like I was beating myself up for not taking responsibility, and I've lost the children's inheritance, and but as I went through and listening to other people's stories, they were going through the same thing, because I don't think anybody was let off that. So many more people were saying, yes, I've lost, and I'm struggling and whatever because of this economic downturn. And I thought, okay, well, it's not just me then that was being stupid. I still had to forgive myself for the thoughts of, I was being stupid. Okay, it's just something that happened. What am I learning from this? Let's take the next step up. Okay, I've learned not to do X, Y, and Z. Be more responsible. Keep an eye on what's going on, and not leave my money within certain investors and taking this person's word for gospel. Do my own investigation, etc. And I think most people have done that, thought of that for themselves in going forward. And yes, brush everything away, get over it. Come on, get over myself. I know I'm a good coach. I know I'm a fairly good businesswoman, because I love working with the numbers and everything and seeing things grow and organizing my team and my staff and stuff like that. And I can do that again. I can do it again. I had a friend who lost £4 million wow. in the 80s crash. Yeah, and I said, well, how did you get over it? He said, well, I know I've done it once. I can do it again. If I can do it once, I can do it again. So it's not a problem. Just start from the beginning, brush yourself off, and having good friends around you and good support around you to pull yourself up and keep you going is vital. You can't do these things on your own in this world at all. Being around the right people just did help. Yeah,
you absolutely cannot live in a vacuum. Absolutely not. And that's a really good point also, because we don't take we want to more emphasize the word mistake than understanding it as a lesson, right? Because the things keep happening in our lives so that we learn and we can become better. So absolutely. Flipping that around is really, it's a very key point to changing life. So let's see, do you have any upcoming events? I know you were a little bit going through, is this a new program that you're offering, or?
Right, well, the Business SoulShift program is my signature program that I take my clients through anyway. Yeah, so it's a 4-month program that's ongoing. If you want to work with me one-to-one, that's what we'll go through. Okay, but currently I'm promoting the Ignite Your Brilliance 6-week program. Okay, it's a group online program for it's group coaching, and I work through the first 4 modules from the Business SoulShift program. So we work on commitment, desire, belief and values, and then we do a bit of dream boarding, which is a bit fun. And then we look at how we're going to pull the whole thing together and create a plan going forward and doing some connection. Yeah, so we end up with your message, your mission, your a plan going forward for maybe the next 6 months, and where to connect with your ideal clients. Yeah, so it's really going back to the basics, as I was speaking to you before, but I've condensed it into like a little program, because not everybody is ready for my main signature program. 4 months. Not everybody needs that. And I think, as I said before, that some people just need to go back to the beginning, back to the foundation, get that foundation right, and then go back and go forward. So I created the group program just to satisfy that need. So to dissect my first part and then have it as a group program, which starts on the 20th of March.
Okay.
And it's if you take people go to my website, they'll see Ignite Your Brilliance on the tab, and then just need to go and read all about everything that it's about. Plus, I've had to delay a week, so what I'm offering is the discount, the discount right up until we start. So you're going to have the discount right till when we actually start on the next Tuesday. So you don't have to pay the full fee. And if you want to speak to me about it anyway, just connect to me on Messenger. There is a link there as well for you to book in to have a little chat with me as well on my diary. So just to make sure that this program is actually right for you anyway, going forward. So that's what I'm promoting. And then the next thing that I'll be starting to promote is the Live Authentic. It's not Live Authentic, it's Live Authentic.
Did I say that? Oh gosh.
You said Live Authentic. And most people do, because they read the word live first,
right,
and then authentic. But it's Live Authentic, it's authentic living,
right,
which is what my membership program is going to be all about. You know, being you, being amazing you. How do you get to be so amazing and fantastic and live your life the way that you want to on your terms, but using my Business SoulShift program, modules from that during the membership as well. So that's going to be I'm really excited about getting that started, so you can have your best life, being the best you, doing doing the best things for the world.
So specifically, like which, it sounds like you work with two different types of business owners. So people that are either they've been in business maybe a very long time and they're just kind of wiped out and not really sure where they're going, or people that have been in business for maybe 5 years and then they're just like, okay, we need a reset. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you would have been in a business for some time. Yeah. I don't tend to start with work with startups, because that's a completely different energy there, because it's like, a lot of research and investigation and stuff going on. You'd have had to be in business for some time, maybe a minimum 2 years. Yeah, and you're struggling, but ideally at least 5 years and beyond that. And then you really do want to have a reset, like you say, come back to basics. Something is not quite working, you've reached a plateau, it's not really working for you. So let's really get back to the foundation of you, and then we can go forward. So yeah, and you could be in any sort of business, maybe an online business, maybe a network marketing business, maybe you're a performer, like you're a singer, songwriter, like my younger son, who I'm so proud of. It could be, but you're a solo person dealing with, working on your own, working in isolation, and you are your, you're being the main person. And it's very unlikely that you would have a team, or you have a very small team or an outsourced team. So I'm not talking about corporations and big companies or anything like that. But if you're listening, watching this or listening to this, and you feel what I'm saying resonates with you, and you're a CEO of a big company, please talk to me, because we can work with you bespokely as well. So I can fit things around people, but my target audience is already solopreneurs.
Okay, perfect. I really love, I'm so happy that you had some time to come on my show today and talk to us. This is, it's, like I said, I like your unique way of how you approach life in general, but specifically business, because who was it that said that the world's going to be changed by, is it business?
The Dalai Lama by the Western woman. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. The Dalai Lama said that the world is going to be changed by the I think it's the 20th century woman or the 21st century woman or something like that, he said, or the Western woman, that's it. And so, but we're changing it all over the world, not just in the West, everywhere. We're being empowered and just stepping up, and just, we're doing it in a really quiet way. We're not marching in the streets like the suffragettes. Somebody had to do that, but now we don't have to. We can actually do what we need to do, just quietly, just shining our light, saying what we need to say, attracting the people that we want to work with, and helping our sisters and our brothers, because the men as well need empowerment as well, because they need to understand this empowered woman, these empowered women. How can we deal with them? How can we help? How can they help us? And how can we work together? It's not just about women working in isolation. So yeah, we've got to help our men as well. Yes.
100%. So we've talked about a lot of things. What would be the 3 main takeaways you would want a listener or viewer to have today?
Okay, 3 main takeaways. Number 1, don't give up. Don't give up on your dream. Don't give up on what you're trying to achieve. Don't give up on your passion. Keep going, okay? Number 2, find support, because you can't do this on your own. Find a coach, an accountability partner, a best buddy, a mentor, even your supporters and followers. Just get the support that can hold you up through the bad times and celebrate with you through the good times as well. So you need that support. And number 3 would be you. Be authentic. I've done the route where, try to be like this guru and that guru and this person and that person, or follow this path or that, that system or this system. And it's like, it always feels, no, just does not feel right. So be your authentic self. And from wherever you are in that authenticity, you will always then grow. You practice and you hone and you become the best version of yourself, but still remaining the essence of you. So that's my 3 tips.
Beautiful. And that is definitely, yeah, we all need to do that. The giving up, the getting the support and being ourselves. We just, need to really embrace that. So that's a powerful statement. So the links to connect with Jennifer are going to be below this recording and this video. And if you found us on LinkedIn or on Facebook, you can also connect with her via Messenger in both places. Mm-hmm. And I want to thank you for, like I said, being on the show today. And I thank all of our listeners and viewers, and have an amazing day.
Thank you, and it's an absolute honor and pleasure to be on your show and to be working with you with our retreat coming up as well. So people have got to look out for that, because that's going to be awesome. And you are so beautiful. I love your calm energy. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.